Hey, what's up, everybody? I usually keep y'all outside, man. First off, thank y'all for everybody who followed me on every platform, on all the platforms. I don't think I'm on Snapchat. I know I ain't on Snapchat, but everybody who followed me on TikTok, YouTube, who watching my videos, who like it, who sharing, man, I appreciate y'all, man. But with a serious note, I told y'all a while back, I got to drop the book. The book finished. I just got to get me another cover and put it out there. But today I'm just try to keep this brief. Anybody who's involved with anything you're doing in these streets, invest in one of these books, The Black's Law. And I'm just really to all the cats who done time, who got people who serving time, or somebody who going to court. The reason I tell you to get this book, because you need to know these terminologies. Because one thing they throw at you, even after you hire an attorney, because you pay an attorney and you think you can trust them, but you got to understand, when you're dealing with the judicial system, you're dealing with one of the biggest gangs in the United States. Especially if you're from Charleston. I deal with go against the Ninth Circuit, and I'm still doing everything I got to do with them. But investing this is called a Black's Law Dictionary, and it defines a lot of terms you see on legal papers that you interpret them from the Webster definition that you was taught at school, but that's not the case. So make sure you invest in one of these. Anybody who's going up fighting a case, got a family member fighting case, because they consider it, if you get in trouble and you pay the lawyer didn't do his job, even after you pay him, they're going to use words like due diligence against you. And then when you get locked up, you serve time, because a lot of people, what they're doing, a lot of people plead guilty to crimes that they're not necessarily guilty of, because one, they might be incarcerated and couldn't afford to bond out. So they're offered a deal to come home with time served, even though they didn't do the crime. But they want to come home. Because if you ever been locked up, that's a miserable thing. So there's a lot of people they done done this to. Then you got people who fought the law. And the case was showing that it could be beat, but the lawyer didn't do his job, or the judge allowed some things that wasn't supposed to be allowed because they might have been gunning for you or gunning for somebody you affiliated with. There's a lot of stories behind it, but the reason I say this, anybody who's had served time, has signed the Gun Act, or if you've been on anything that you're doing more than a year time, you lose a lot of rights and you suffer what they call collateral consequence. Look up that word, look up that phrase, collateral consequence. Make sure y'all look that up, because you're going to need one of these books if you're fighting, because collateral consequence, it lasts even after you've been convicted of a crime, you are probation. It's something that could, without pardons and expungement, you'll be dealing with collateral consequences for the rest of your life. So always be careful of that, especially anybody who signed the Gun Act, knowing you can't be around firearms. In South Carolina, you can't be around ammunition. You subjecting yourself to another possible 5 years, because you didn't get a pardon. A pardon is not guaranteed, but apply for it. And it also depends on the crime. And I'm speaking from an individual who's been incarcerated for drug crimes. And a lot of punishment, you can't get a lot of grants and stuff that you would get. There's a lot of people in the Fed still trying to get their rights reinstated. And we're trying to find ways to help them. I'm not an attorney, I'm put that big disclaimer out there. But I've been fighting, like I said, one of the biggest gangs in the United States. And I've been getting to every level, meaning to help us, people that I keep keep them in the cut. But I've been able to help a lot of individuals to point them in the right direction on what to read, because I've been threatened plenty of times in the courtroom about borderline practicing law. And I was just asking simple questions, because if you can read and comprehend, when something isn't right. And as a young drug dealer, I always trusted in my attorney to tell me the truth and be truthful, but that is not always the case, because you got to understand, they represent a gang. They represent one of the biggest gangs in the United States, and they're not always going to be truthful with you. They're not always going to abide by the law, but it's harder to get at them when they break the law than it is with you. Now, I love y'all. Be safe, man. Remember, invest in a Black's Law Dictionary. Anybody going up against this gang. You know what I'm saying? And thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. And remember, collateral consequences. If you ever been convicted, try to get all your rights reinstated, try to get expungement, try to get pardon. I don't want to see nobody that I know locked up fighting the system for something that you should have never been either in prison for or locked up or any kind of, because they violate your rights all the time. But you got to understand those rights in order to defend them. Peace. I'm out of here.